Good morning, students. Today we are going to study lesson number 12, force and pressure. What is force? The push or pull which applied on the body to bring about some change in its position and form is called force. So let us see the example here. You can see here the cupboard is just push or pull. The position is get changed. So this will be done if there is some force applied to it. So we can define as push or pull to on a body which is applied to bring about some change. Effects of force. Force can change the state of motion of an object. So we know that if you take an example of bicycle, you pedal it to move it. If you want to stop, you apply brakes. If you are on skates, you adjust your balance in a way to speed it or slow it down and stop. This is the change at the state of the motion, we can call it as. The second one is force changes the speed of a moving object. So if a force is applied in the direction in which the object is moving, the object will move faster. But if we apply a force in a direction opposite to the direction of the moving object, then definitely its speed will reduce. Thus, application of force may cause an object to speed up or slow down. Third one, force can cause an object to turn or change direction. In the game of cricket, a bowler bowls the ball to the batsman who deflects the ball with the flick of a bat. When you ride a bicycle, you need to make some effort to turn the bicycle. Quite obviously, whenever you are riding a bicycle, you just turn it and cause the turn as a change of direction. The fourth one is forces can cause an object to change the shape, right? So it can change its shape by, you can take the example of potter. Sometimes the application of force changes the shape of an object. Have you seen the potter at the work? He picks up the lump of clay, right? He just picks up the lumps of clay and just he gives the shape as a pot. So due to the force, only change in the shape also possible. Even you can take the example of a balloon, and if you press it on the both the sides, definitely the shape of the balloon also changes. Okay, let us see the magnitude and direction of a force. Sometimes a batsman is able to hit a ball hard by scoring six, right? So if you just check it out here, the ball is hit at the force and the ball is reaching sixer. For the next time, the strength of his shot may not be with so much strength, which could just be fielded nearby him. So the strength matters for the force, that is called as magnitude. So in former case, the magnitude of the force is larger, while that in the later case is smaller. Quite obviously, at the first time he hit the ball with a higher magnitude, and the second time with a lesser magnitude. The strength of the force is expressed by the magnitude. So what do you mean by magnitude then? The strength of the force is known as magnitude, and the SI unit of the force is Newton, which is named after the English scientist Sir Isaac Newton. Now we need to specify the direction of along with the magnitude. The effect of force will the change its magnitude or the direction. So if you take the example of ball, when the force is applied with some magnitude, the direction of the ball will definitely change. Okay, have balance the force. Have you played the game of tug of war? Yes, everybody. Here, two teams pull each other. As you can see in the diagram also. Here, two group of people are just pushing the rope from the center on the both the sides. Okay, each other pull at a rope in opposite direction. Some of them they are pulling this side and some of them they are pulling on this direction. Sometimes the rope simply does not move. It happens when uh, both the side the equal number of people with strength, if they're putting the force, the rope will never move from the place. This happens when the force applied by the two teams is equal and opposite. The force is balanced. So even when things stay still, forces are acting on them. So if you are just taking with the rope here, which is pulled on both the direction, yet that rope doesn't move from the place. Okay, the forces that are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction are called as balanced force. So here the force which is applied on this side and the force applied on this side are equal and opposite. Because of that, the content which is present at the center will never move from the place. These kind of forces are called as balanced force. Now let us see what do you mean by resultant force. Let me take an example here first. If suppose a boulder is there and four of the members are just pushing it by F1, F2, F3 and F4. Okay. So the force is applied on it. The net force resultant will make this boulder to move further because all the forces are at one direction. So they are added up by 4. That is F1 plus F2 plus F3. Together it will give a force which in turn make this boulder to move front. Okay, so this is called as a resultant force. In the last, we have seen the balanced force where the content was there in the opposite direction. But here, in the balanced force, it happens that all the forces come together and they together have an effect to move this boulder front. This net forces which cause some effects on the object is called as resultant force. Okay, if two or more acts in the same direction, all the forces add up. If two forces act in opposite direction, the total force acting on the object will be the difference of the two forces and the direction of the object moving will be along the greater force. So here another example in the second. So if they are all forcing on a one direction, the resultant force will be there. Suppose if two members are pushing a material here, what will happen? If the magnitude of the force on this direction is more and here it is less, so quite obviously this force will be greater and the object will move on this direction. How it will be? If this is F1 and if this is F2, if you consider, then the resultant force will be F1 minus F2. So by overcoming this force, the F1 force will act on this object and the object is moved in the direction of the resultant direction. There are two types of forces. Forces can act on a body from a distance or being in contact with it. Depending on this, forces can be classified as contact and non-contact forces. You can see in the diagram, there are different examples for non-contact forces and contact forces. We'll study in detail. Okay, first let us see non-contact forces. As the name itself suggests, the content, the force will be not coming in contact with the object. It will be working with a distance. First one is magnetic force. All of we know magnet when come near to the iron fillings, the magnetic force will be acted upon to the iron fillings and the force make attract the iron fillings. Electrostatic force, the diagram shown here, the comb will be having electrostatic force and the paper pieces will be attracted without the contact of the object. The third, very important, that is the gravitational force. We can very well experience it. gravitational force, the drop from a height always comes down to the earth. There is no contact at all. Apple falling from the tree, we are falling from the earth. All the examples which we could correlate, it is for the gravitational force, and definitely it is not in contact with. Okay, the next one is contact forces. When forces is applied on the object by direct or indirect physical contact, applied force is called as contact force. Let us take the first example as muscular force. The force caused due to the action in our body is known as muscular force. So you can see here, the muscles which he is making or the pulling up the weight is a muscular force. When two objects are in contact with each other, it is known as frictional force. So frictional force is an opposite force which is acting with the body which is moving. So because of that, the movement is possible. The frictional force also comes in contact with the object. So the second one we can take as example of frictional force. Mechanical force. A mechanical force can be defined as the force that features some direct contact between two objects, one applying the force and another which is in the state of rest. So, or in the state of motion. So, here the example given pulley where the boy is lifting up the water. So, only rope is just moving and the pulley is rotated there only. By applying the force to the rope, the content is lifted up. This is a example for contact force. Okay, let us see what you mean by weight. Let us first observe the activity here. Tie a stone on a spring balance. Now measure the extent of the stretching of the spring on the scale. Now tie a heavy rock on it and then stretching of the spring will be more. We can see that the scale find exact magnitude of the scale. So what do you mean by exactly the weight? The weight of an object equals the magnitude of the gravitational force acting on the object. Weight and mass are fundamentally different quantities. Mass is an intrinsic property of matter, whereas weight is the force that results from the action of gravity on the matter. So what exactly it means? So if you just consider a content as a stone and the matter which is present inside is the mass and the gravity, the force which is acting upon it makes its mass into gravity gives rise to the weight. So suppose your mass material content of the body always remains the same, but weight changes with the force. You might have heard about the example. On the moon, our weight will be 1/6 because the gravitational force acting upon us is very less. Because of that, our weight is reduced there. So if you just take an example 1/6 that, this means it pulls all objects which is lesser than the force. The content, the mass of an object will be the same. Okay, if you just take an example of human being, the mass will be the same. But the pull from the moon is less because of that. The if your weight is 36 kgs in on the earth, and if you go on moon it will be only 6 kgs because the gravitational force on moon is very less. What is pressure? Let us see now what is pressure. You must have also observed that a sharp knife cuts the vegetable quickly while you have to struggle with a blunt knife. So pressure depends, it is all about the pressure. The pressure depends on the amount of the force applied. Say if you are taking an example here of the needle, okay, and a blunt knife and a sharp knife also, or needle, or you can take a blunt pencil. Okay, quite obviously when you are pressing with a needle, the pressure would be more as compared to the pencil. In the same way, here in the diagram also, sharp knife and the dull knife. The surface area which is touching the area will be more. If that is more, the pressure would be less. The sharp area or the small area which is touching is less, which will be applied force more. So pressure depends on the amount of force and the area over which the force is applied. The more the force, the more the pressure. However, the bigger the area, lesser is the pressure. Pressure is directly proportional to the force and inversely proportional to the contact. Okay, so if the area is less, the pressure would be more. And if area is more, then pressure would be less. Now let us see how air pressure and the pressure can be defined. The pressure can be defined as the pressure P is equal to F, that is force, okay, per unit area. That is P is equal to F upon A. That is Newton per meter square. Okay, so this is the SI unit for pressure, and this whole thing can be denoted as PA, that is Pascal. Pascal was the scientist who worked and gave the contribution to understand the liquid pressure. So if you take the example of pressure, high heel shoes, you can see that in the diagram also here, picture also. High heel shoes sinks deeper into the soft ground than compared to the flat, right? When you are to walk in a muddy area or the field, you cannot go for this heights because the pointed heels will pierce inside more. There will be difficulty in walking. Weight is spread over a small area exerting a higher pressure. Weight is spread over larger area exerting a lower pressure. So flattened shoes are preferable for that. Now what do you mean by air pressure? The force exerted by air, whether compressed or confined, on any surface in contact with it. Here they have shown the diagram here. Although air molecules are invisible, they still weigh and take up space. Air pressure is the force applied by the air to any surface which is in contact with. So sometimes when you are standing on a mountain wall, you can just feel the air pressure on you. The air pressure can change because air particles can move further apart or closer together. Information about air pressure is important for predicting weather because changes in the air pressure mean the weather is about to change. Quite obviously, air plays an important role on the Earth atmosphere in the way the pressure also. Now let us see pressure exerted by liquids. If you check with the diagram here, there is a water where you could see three holes. Okay, this is a liquid column, and the pressure exerted by the water is highest at the lower part, that is PC is greater than PB. B is the second position and A is the third position. So always pressure exerted, however you go deeper in the liquid column, higher will be the pressure. Because of that only, the water expelled out will be with a greater pressure at the down. So even in all water canals, you can see the water is coming at the highest force when it is there at the down. So more is the depth below the surface, more will be the pressure. So there are some laws of the pressure exerted by the liquid. Liquid exerts the pressure in all directions. So in all the direction it exerts the pressure. At certain depth, a liquid exerts the same pressure in all directions. So it experiences at a place everywhere the same direction. The pressure exerted by a liquid increases with the depth. So however you go inside the depth, the pressure will be more. Measuring the pressure and atmospheric pressure. Air pressure is measured by barometer, and a manometer is an instrument for measuring the pressure of liquids. Thank you.